Interviewing the great Jason the Kid Knight, one of the kings of the 145-pound division. Jason, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing good, man. Just headed back to the gym. It's going to be my second session for the day. Just trying to make sure, I'm prepared as I can be for this fight. And, just trying to get through this last week of hard training.
For sure, man. You're talking about this fight stylistically. How do you think you match up with Gabriel Benitez?
I think it's tough. He's got real good kicks. Probably one of the hardest kickers in my division. But, other than that, about the only thing I have to worry about, he's got a good straight left hand and a good guillotine choke if you try to take him down. So, I think he's very beatable. I think, as far as on the ground, I think I'll dominate the fight if I take it to the ground. Stand-up wise, I think it'll be a pretty good match. As long as I can stay away from those heavy kicks, then I should be able to beat him standing up as well.
Yeah. Are you looking to keep this standing or take this to the ground? You kind of have an advantage in both areas for what I see.
Man, what I've always done, in every fight, I never really make a game plan. I go out here and I try to fight the guy, and if the opportunity presents itself to take the fight to the ground, and at that particular time I feel like taking it to the ground, that's what I do. But there's not really a plan to take him down or to keep it standing. I'm just gonna go out here, fight him step by step, and see where it goes. If it ever gets to the point where I need to take him down, that's what I'm gonna do. And I believe once I get it to the ground, then the fight's mine.
Oh yeah, we definitely saw that in your Bruce Leroy fight. Actually, really well done. Going off of that, what type? How different was it going into the UFC from the other organizations that you've been in going into it?
Man, the UFC, still to this day is breathtaking. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I don't know if you're ever gonna get used to it. You're sitting in the back and you're sitting next to all these guys that you've looked up to, you know what I'm saying, your whole life and shit. You got the situation that you never ever dreamed would ever happen, and it's happening to you. And then, you're back there warming up with your coaches and shit, and, the nerves go away a little bit once you start warming up. But next thing you know, they come in and they're like, hey, Jason, you're on in 4 minutes.
Oh,
and then it's like, shit, all the nervousness comes right back. And next thing you know, they come out and, all right, and they count like 5, 4, 3, 2, and they go on the radio, Jason's walking now. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then, you start walking out there, and you're standing across like that. They'll have you either you go first or the other guy goes first. But before they start playing your walkout music, you're standing like 10, 15 feet away from each other.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm just looking at the guy, and I look at him like I'm finna kill you. I give him that look. It's time to go, And then next thing you know, they're like, all right, Jason. And they open the curtain. And once they open that curtain, you got fucking so many fans right there screaming in your face. You got these bright-ass lights, cameras right there in your face. And, man, it just takes your breath away. And you're like, oh, shit. It's real.
It's the real deal.
And it doesn't matter. I don't think it's ever going to matter how many times I've done it. I think it's still going to take my breath away every time. But, it's all the same once you get inside that cage. It doesn't matter whether it's the UFC, whether it's in the backyard, or, whatever promotion you're fighting for, or even if you're not fighting for a promotion. As soon as that first punch gets thrown, then, you're in a fight. It's all the other stuff goes away. It's just time to get in there and do what you love and have fun doing it. And, that's one of the biggest things to me that I'm glad it didn't change. Once I got to the UFC, fighting's just fighting. It doesn't matter who you're fighting for. You're out there doing something you love, and I'm the biggest stage the biggest stage in the world. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Oh, absolutely, and you definitely look like you're having fun out there. especially when it comes to your submissions that you end up pulling off. I mean, very impressive. Would you actually think of doing any of these grappling tournaments or EBI tournaments in between your UFC fights?
Yeah, man. I've been so active this last year that I haven't really been able to take a break and go and do stuff like that. But yeah, man, I love doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. I've either won or came in second place in just about every tournament that I did as a purple belt, and I haven't done them in a while. You know, I'm a brown belt now, and I know that the competition is going to be a lot stiffer. And then on top of that, you got all these brown belts. It's like, oh, he's a UFC fighter. They're trying to, you know, they're going to be trying to take my head off. Like, brown belts, they're good. Every fucking brown belt out there, they're good, man. So they're going to be like, oh, shit, I'm fisting to tap out a UFC fighter. So, you know,
it's like
that's kind of scary. Yeah, that's kind of scary, too, because, I mean, once you get to that level, they can heel hook you and stuff like that. But, I mean, like, what I've always done in tournaments, I tap super early. You know what I'm saying?
You got
same
it.
And that's, you know, if it's a choke, I'm going to go to sleep. But if you're the possibility of breaking something, I'm going to tap super early because, you know, that's my career.
Yeah.
And in a fight, you better break my damn arm, break my leg, whatever you got to do. But, you know, out there in a tournament, I'm going to tap early because, you know, who gives a damn if I lose in a jiu-jitsu tournament? But, yeah, man, I definitely want to get into doing a bunch of tournaments and stuff because, for one, it gets you better at competing, you know, just all around competing with jiu-jitsu. But also, you know, it gets you more and more experience. The more you do it, the more experience you get, the better you get. So, I definitely want to do that, especially now that I'm a brown belt, kind of compete against some of the best brown belts out there and kind of see where I stand, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. Good.
So, do you feel this is a good fight for you after the Ricardo Lamas fight to rebound after a loss like that?
Yeah, man. You know, the way I look at it, any fight's a fight. You know, I don't care how big their name is or whatever. You know, I definitely want to step up that ladder always. But you know, Gabriel Benitez, he's kind of, you know, a step back. You know, as far as the competition level, he's not ranked, is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know, he's in the UFC, so he's there for a reason. He's going to be a good, tough opponent. But he's not really going to get me to go forward any. But, you know, it's a good chance to get out there and, you know, grit my teeth, get my hands dirty again, and, you know, try to get back in that winner's column. And I believe, you know, that he's a tough kid. I've watched him fight, and if you've ever seen this guy kick, I mean, this guy kicks. He's like the Anderson Silva of the featherweight division.
Yeah,
he kicks so damn hard.
Like a mule.
He kicks hard.
You know, that's something that you can't take. That's something you can't take lightly. You know, if you take that, he'll go out there and he'll put your lights out with just one of those kicks. So, you know, I've given him all the respect in the world. I'm not underestimating him at all. So, you know, I definitely think this is going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a good fight. But, you know, I'm looking to go out here and try to get a finish and, you know, win in devastating fashion because, you know, I gotta show the UFC that, you know, I'm not one of those guys that's meant to be on the back burner. I want to be right there in the spotlight and, you know, I want to be climbing my way up that top 15. I don't want to be a gatekeeper, you know?
Yeah, you deserve to be climbing that top 15, man.
Again, as you're going up that ladder, sorry to cut you off, man. What did you want to say?
He's good.
Say that one more time, man. It glitched out.
Did you need to finish saying something?
No, he's good.
I was going to ask you, well, what are you most likely to see in 2017? What was that?
Sorry, Jason.
Say that one more time.
What are you most hyped for in 2018 going into it?
Most pumped about.
I this year to see my fourth UFC fight, and in 2018, expect nothing less as I can. I want to fight some of those top guys. Maybe get a fight with like Yair Rodriguez. Fight with the Korean sport. So, guys like competition out of the way, and those are guys that are further up the rankings than me. To fight them, and if I go out here and I win this fight, beat them in devastating fashion, then I'm gonna ask somebody else, and hope they'll give it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just give me a second. Yeah, so what are some of the guys you've been working with from Alan Belchers that you've been sparring with, and some of the guys we should be on the lookout for?
Uh, what guys that
Pardon?
say that one more time.
Some of the guys that you've been working with at Alan Belchers, who are some of the guys we should be keeping an eye out for?
We got Brandon Davis, they call the Killer B. He's going to be fighting January. I believe it's January 22nd. He's going to be fighting in Boston.
Yeah, UFC
and
220.
that's my striking coach. Yeah, he's one of the best up and comers there's going to be. He's going to get in the UFC, and he's going to do the same thing I'm doing. He's going to keep climbing those rankings, and he's going to go out there and kick some ass in the featherweight division. And then you got Tyler Zombie Hill. There's no time. He fights this next weekend for just a local promotion. He's going to fight for a title belt, but he's going to be in the UFC in just a matter of time. A few more wins under his record or whatever, but it's just a matter of time. And Tyler Hill's going to be there. We got Jason Cephalou. He's going to fight at 125, but he's been out for a while because of healthy again, to where he's back at 100, and he's going to start knocking off and before long you'll see him in the UFC. We got guys the threats to reaching that goal.
Jason, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Jason?
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know it seems like the connection's a little bit slow here. Possibly if we turn off the video. Can you hear us?
It's a bit better.
Jason, can you hear us? I think you can. All right, so
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us, Jason?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.